Hello, very good evening. My name is Shreya, and I welcome you to the Dare Act Conversation series powered by The Grey Matter. We're going to be joined by Jaya Kumar today. She is a lawyer turned business development and marketing expert for law firms. So bear with me as I invite Jaya to join us live. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Dare Act.
Thank you, Shreya. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Likewise. Jaya, may I suggest you keep your phone at one stationary place so you don't have to hold it in your hand? Otherwise, it'll get a
I'll,
little difficult.
sure, I'll try that because it's an iPhone and there's a battery issue as we all know.
Oh, much better.
Yeah,
Fantastic. So, we want to know a lot about your journey. So, I'm not going to waste any more time and I'm going to dive right to the first question if that's okay.
absolutely. Please go ahead.
Okay, so you were brought up in Jharkhand and then you moved to Mumbai for your higher studies. Tell us how was that transition for you? Also, were there any habits that you had to give up or probably inculcate once you moved to Bombay?
Interesting question, Shreya, and thanks for making me so nostalgic because obviously Jharkhand is so close to heart. I've been born and brought up there by my parents. It was a big move. I have always been under the shelter of my parents in their nest, and but the way they nurtured me gave me so much confidence. It helped me to understand the city. Bombay is a fast city. I come from a very structured and slow city called Bokaro Steel City. But Bombay was like, it really was. I had stars in my eyes when I came to the city, and I went to a good college and I had a hostel to adjust to. But I think it's just human psyche to miss your parents when you're outside of the house for the first time. But again, the way they nurtured me gave me so much confidence to adjust, and I don't plan so much, so I just blended in, and it was a wonderful journey to be in Bombay. I love the city. Now you can actually call me a Mumbaikar, a full Bombay person.
Tell us what you had to change. Was there anything you had to change in the way you were brought up, or some habits or some patterns?
Yeah. I mean, if you ask about the nitty-gritties of the habits, I was going to school in Bokaro. When I came to Bombay, it was college. So obviously the habits change from parents taking care of from your breakfast to your dinner. You really had to figure out yourself, and the hostel had a mess, and we used to get our food there. But you have to be on time. There's nobody who tells you, and if you don't get your breakfast from 8 to 9, and you don't get it. So it changed, it made me more disciplined for sure. And it also gave me a lot of power to understand how to grow in life because I was on my own. And
Hmm.
it gave me that push to be more disciplined, think about future, grow, eat your meals on time, and understand what the world is doing. Bombay was a commercial capital of the country, and I had only heard about it. Practically, I didn't know anything. But when I started roaming around the streets of Bombay, and thankfully I was in town, so it really gave me the larger perspective that, sometimes financially you have to be strong to stay in a city like Bombay. And that was a push that came to me at an early age. So from habits, I would just say it was discipline. Otherwise, I was quite a good girl with my parents also.
Very well. So you did your English honors. You were an English honors graduate before you chose to pursue law. What made you change your mind?
So, English honors happened because my mother is a English lecturer, and it was easy that somebody at home will guide me.
Hmm.
But when I came to Bombay, I did get through GLC for 5 years course. In my mind, I just thought it's too long. I don't know if I'll have that patience. And this actually relates to your question one when you're talking about habits. So the decision making, Shreya, actually came upon me. And parents had
Hmm.
given me that freedom to take decisions. So they really never forced me to do anything. While they wanted me to do law, but I said, I think I will be better off studying in between 3 years gap. I'm not doing a 5 years. So when I did my English honors and then I got into law, I was quite happy with the decision. So that the decision that I took was I don't want to get bored studying the same thing for 5 years. So let's have more variety in life.
So English honors happened, and then like, what made you be like, okay, now probably I don't mind giving law a shot.
So law was already there, as I said, but I just didn't want to do the 5 years one.
So
And
you,
yeah, the 3 years one happened, and I said, yeah, like, good enough, and it was good. Like, I understood how the law industry works because my classes took to be till 11 a.m. and I had the whole day when I was doing law. So I could explore, I could explore internships and stuff. So it was quite cool actually at that time.
and which actually leads me to my next question. While you were studying law, you very early on realized that your interest lied more on the business side of law versus the practice of law. I'm just curious to know what made you come to that realization about yourself.
So, as you know, Shreya, very well, that I started my whole journey with Rainmaker. And Rainmaker was not a law firm per se, which was helping clients to do their DD or help their M&As, and it was actually a consultancy helping people to know more about law and LPOs and courses and how to become a better lawyer. Uh, that actually like I was interested in that. I was not interested in DD. I don't like long sentences and long documents. While being a lawyer and I've studied for 3 years, I don't want to read that for 4 hours and then take out a typo and do that. So I knew myself very well at a younger age, I would say. And as I earlier said that I am not somebody who plans a lot. So Rainmaker actually happened while I wrote an email to Mr. Malan. Sachin Malan, who was a co-founder at that point of time, and he said, "Okay, come for an interview." And I got through. And, oh, very cool place to work. Let's work here. And it just fell into place, I would say. And business interested me more than law, and sales and marketing interested me more than law. I was very passionate about brands and how it works, how you should make yourself visible. Really, the DDs and the litigation did not really make me feel so attractive about it. And also, I was doing an internship with a divorce lawyer in family court in Bombay.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to blame everything on law because family court is not the best place to start your work from because you might be doing good things for people there, but you also see a lot of relationship issues. And I also thought, no, maybe, sorry, not this.
No.
And the courts were not how I thought it would be. I really thought it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was saying the courts were not very neat and clean and so many dates. I mean, the cases were going on and on and on. I did not think I would suit myself and I would do justice to cases that I would take. So I was
Hmm.
like, it's okay. I better be inside the office than be in the court. So
Fair.
that's how it went.
So your internship at Rainmaker also got converted to a full-time position, and you
Yeah.
worked there for a considerably decent amount of time. And I'm sure it must have been your best time, considering that was the aha phase for you when you were in this journey of self-discovery professionally. Are there any key takeaways from your experience at Vahura at Rainmaker?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of my favorite places to work. I recommended everybody to work there, and it's a fantastic place to be. They taught me how to be resilient. They taught me how to work hard. They also taught me when you're working hard, there will be issues, but be smart about it. They gave me freedom to take decisions, which is very important at an early stage of your career, and they make sure that the environment of office is happy.
Hmm.
That makes a lot of difference when you're working at that age, when you're that young and you're still exploring on what you want to do. So they taught me that sense of humor and happiness still can be there when you're working so hard. So absolutely everybody should follow what Rainmaker followed at that point of time. I would recommend it.
Fair. Thank you so much for sharing that. So that was Rainmaker, but then your world and your experience later on lied in the world of business development. So before we get into that, it'll be nice if you could explain what business development for law firms and lawyer means and why is it important?
So, I will tell you there are two forks about it. One, when I started business development at law firm called Trilegal, one of the best law firms in the country, they really knew what needs to be done from marketing point of view. So they were very keen on marketing because the strategy and the sales were in the hands of the partners and they were very good at it. So we were really supporting them to achieve what they needed. So they were more of marketing and PR at that point of time, which is 10 years, 10, 11 years from now. So at that time, business development was about speaking to the journalists, getting yourself visible, international journalism, and getting places like there are Chambers and Partners, the Legal 500. These are the legal journals which rank you. And we were supporting Trilegal to get ranked as a tier one firm in India. So that was more of a support. We also helped them curate brochures, branding, revamping their logo. So a lot of things which law firms used to not think about. You know, the old school law firms were like AB and associates. But Trilegal, when I was there, they actually thought about why it should be Trilegal, what is the logo. Of course, that was not my curation, it was their curation of the name, but all the logo and stuff, they thought about it. So that is where business development was at that point of time. Today, what has happened, business development is not only about marketing, but it has also become about strategy. So from a support function, what we were, now we have become the forefront of helping the law firm to up their ante and achieve more than what is on the books. So now we are really important part of business development. It's not only about marketing; it's also facing, and it's also about doing your logos and your colors right. But that is was sub part of it. The whole business development comes across now that how you can face a client, which client you should face, mapping of clients. It's really, I would really think if somebody has done a master's in business administration and a law, it would be the dream job for them. So, but a lot of lawyers don't need to do an MBA also to work in law firm in business development because they learn on the job. But today it's all about really developing the business that partners need support on. It's not only giving a partner a quote in a newspaper, which is one of the best newspapers of the country or the publishing company, but it's also about telling the strategy on if you want to go on YouTube, why do you want to go on YouTube? How many hits have you got? And of course, 10 years back, Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn was not as famous, it's still picking up. But today, everybody knows about it. Like today, Shreya, you and I are doing a live Instagram on your portal. I mean, this is a huge achievement, the Grey Matter is a huge achievement. You guys are using this platform to do your visibility and marketing, speaking to people like us who are in the industry. So it's a good connect. Social media has connected us. But why social media? It's just not only opening a Facebook account. We really have to go to the partners and tell them, you have to be on LinkedIn. But why? So the why part is so important, and it's just not like a PPT we make. We speak to them on why should you be and how many hits you get and what is a good number of hits you get. So it's important like that. So business development is all about that. I would say today.
Thank you. That's very informative. Thank you once again for sharing that. So, you already mentioned you started with Trilegal. So that was the entry to the world of law firms. You joined as a BD manager there to then moving on and ultimately becoming the assistant general manager for strategy and development at J. Sagar Associates. Pretty heavy title. See, it took me a while to recollect as well. So clearly you've come a really long way. And I'm sure there must have been a set of struggles and challenges you would have faced, especially when the whole vertical of business development was just starting and ultimately evolving. It'll be great if you could share a few of your challenges while working at law firms and how did you choose to overcome them?
Very, very interesting question. But just two things. I'm Associate General Manager at J. Sagar Associates. Just that correction. No problem. It's okay. And so yeah, Trilegal was my first law firm to work as business development. And Trilegal was very like a go-getter firm, and I really enjoyed my work there. Uh, but I learned one thing: that just keep your head low, work, learn because you are in the learning process. Give your ideas because they were very absorbent of the idea, but please learn on the job because BD was such a new concept in India. International law firms were already doing it, but BD was such a new concept in India, and I really wanted to understand what exactly. I knew what it is, but when you learn on the job, Shreya, I think it really makes a lot of difference. So yes, I would not say it was a challenge. I think everybody at that time will take time to adjust to the law firm culture because it's new. As a BD person, you are also a little different from others because everybody is working on a deal. You are not working on a deal. You are actually helping the deal to get visible. So those innuendos, those things you have to be very careful about, and you have to really understand on what needs to be done, how often it needs to be done, when it needs to be done, uh, how confidential it is. Because as lawyers, everything is so.
You know, from what little I have seen in a law firm, there's a very clear demarcation between the lawyers executing and then the support function. Um,
Yeah.
did you ever have to face discrimination is not the right word, but somewhere did you ever feel that you were not taken seriously just because BD falls under the support function vertical?
So I would say little bit of it. I mean, I took time to gel with more people because it was easy for the associates and partners to talk about a deal.
Hmm.
But I was not the part of a deal working on it. So I was like, okay, what are they talking? I mean, I don't know what's happening on the deal. As BD people, you only come to know about the deal after the deal is closed,
After it's
when
done.
you need to market. Yeah. So I was like, okay. So it took time, but once it's also about the personality, Shreya, how much you want to learn and how much you want to interact with people. So, yeah, I won't say there was discrimination per se, but yeah, calling somebody support function was not something I used to like, to be honest. I am
Hmm.
not support. I am an important function of the firm. But just to give the benefit of doubts to the law firms, I mean, for them also it was new. So we can't blame anybody here. And for them also, it was like, yeah, they're supporting us to get more business. But today, that definition has changed.
Changed.
Marketing is not called a support function anymore. Marketing is one of the BD marketing strategy, whatever you want to coin it. It's one of the most important functions of the firm. And thanks to COVID, I think BD and strategy has become more important because everybody wants to be more virtual, more visible in the virtual world, right? So it's not something that is support function anymore. Challenges, yes. I mean, I won't say law firms don't support women. I mean, law firms are very supportive of women, but I think women have to struggle a little bit more in all the sectors and industries. And on top of it, if you are a support function and you are not being called the main function, that yeah, it pinched at some point of time. But you have to make your mark. You have to be resilient. And you
Hmm.
have to show people, I mean, for them also it's new. So please understand, you have to put yourself in a partner's shoe and understand, I mean, why is he not understanding or why is she not understanding what I'm trying to say? Why is it not important? So once you are there, it's your journey. You know you can prove it, and you know you have the brains and the gray cells to prove yourself, and you know something that the lawyers don't know. So that's your tool. That's your power. You know marketing in a law firm. Lawyers know their law. You really have to help them to understand on which sector you can map. Now, if I go and tell our law firm, not the current one that I work in, another law firm, that you have to map your sectors, I don't think a lot of people will say, map your sector. What do you do after that? So it's like that. But things have changed. Things have changed. I don't have to now sit and explain that mapping sector is important or mapping industries are important. It's really like a full hardcore marketing and business development and strategy like any FMCG or retail. or any consultancy firm would do.
Very well. Thank you for sharing that. While you were at Trilegal, you also had a chance to work with Allen and Overy. Um, I'm really intrigued and excited to know, when you were working with Allen and Overy, were there any best practices or, differences in work culture that were very impressive, considering it's an international law firm? And how different was that from, say, an Indian law firm?
Uh, Good question, Shreya, and tough for me to answer, but I would give it a shot. See, Enu is a international law firm. It has some, I think, some must be 300 offices across the globe. It's just a number I am stating. I'm not sure of the number, but I'm saying there are too many Enus in the world, and they are more focused on when it comes to marketing. I think our lawyers are as smart as the lawyers of international firms. But when it came to BD and marketing, they were more focused because they had started marketing 10 years before us.
Hmm.
So they were already 10 years ahead of us and we were still starting. So, of course, their approach and their way of working was different. They were more crisp, they were more sleek. They exactly knew what the client wanted. They exactly knew what will catch the client's eye. I mean, if you are giving them a brochure for corporate practice, we were making long ones, but was very clear that no, I think shorter will help, and I think Trilingual was very absorbent of it. We started doing what suggested. Of course, we had our own ideas, and we did not replicate what they wanted, but they were ahead of us, and it was good that I was working with them. I got flavor of the international markets. I got a flavor of how they work, and their timings are perfect. If they say 6 p.m., it will be in your inbox at 6 p.m. So you learn professionalism a lot from them.
Yeah, that's very interesting, actually. Thank you for sharing that again. If you were to give any piece of advice, simple tips for lawyers who may want to stand out in the ever-growing competitive legal world, what would you say to them?
For business development per se,
Yeah.
I would say it's different. You should try out, but only if you're interested and very passionate about brand. As a lawyer, Shreya, you are also a lawyer by qualification. You worked in a law firm, so you know how important a full stop is for a lawyer, or how important confidentiality is for lawyers. They are passionate about their document. A PD person have to be really passionate about that document being in a beautiful state of representation. So you really have to understand that the content, of course, you will be a content head at some point of time, but the presentation is in your hands, and you have to have passion about it. And if you have
Hmm.
to keep your mouth closed at some point of time, you have to keep your mouth closed. Like externally for PR and marketing, like if there is a deal which is confidential, but the whole world knows about it, you can't tell them that your firm has worked on it till you get a client clearance. So you have to be very headstrong, you have to be very willpower. Your internal stakeholders will call you some 500 times in a day. You have to take their call and be polite, be patient, and you have to get the work done, to get the job done. So I would say if you're passionate about a brand, and not only for law firm, any FMCG or any company in the world, you should go ahead and show how resilient and diligent you are. So that's my first advice. That's my first advice to understand if you can show the passion. And the second thing that I want to advise to everybody who's listening, to be young, old, and everybody, humility is the key. If you are humble to learn, I think your brand will talk about it. So you know what you give, you get. So just add that humility and passion to the brand, and the brand will get back to you. And how there is this infinite. It's infinite. And it's not necessary to know law to be a BD person in a law firm. If you know it, it's good. But honestly, if you don't know it and you know more about marketing, that's what the law firms need today. If you know more about strategy, that's what the market knows. And your clients are not your external clients. Your partners are your internal clients. And those clients, you have to keep them happy. It's not like, okay, it was an internal email, so कोई बात नहीं. If I send something like this to you, no, they are your clients. So if you are sending them something, you make sure that it should be in the best of format, in the best with content, and the best of whatever the partners need to send it eventually to the client. So you have to be careful.
Um, Tell us anyway, the legal industry, at least the Indian legal industry, is a little conservative when it comes to marketing, branding, putting themselves out there. So law firms, yes, they are definitely ahead. A little, they're
Yeah.
slow at pace, but they're still moving ahead. For
Uh,
independent lawyers, the first question that comes to the mind is, why do I need to put myself out there? Why do I need to put my face on LinkedIn? Law is a noble profession, and yes, fair there is. It is a noble profession. But in a competitive legal field like ours at this point of time, where younger law firms are mushrooming every second day, and clients are only so much, right? So how do you position yourself strategically, and keeping in mind that there is still resistance in the mind of lawyers,
hmm,
and also
hmm,
keeping in mind that they are busy executing a lot of work.
hmm.
What do you, any thoughts on that front?
Yeah, so I would say there's a demarcation there. I think the litigating lawyers are more, they don't want to market themselves that much. The corporate lawyers, to be honest, I think they're quite open now. It has taken some time to reach, but they are quite open. And I think roles like ours has become so important for them. So the litigating lawyers are like, we want to do our drafting, we want to get on a conference call in the evening, and we don't want to market, yeah, because one matter we will do, some five clients will look at us in the court and they will give us matters, which happens. Suddenly it doesn't happen. It really happens now also. But the corporate law, I think, has grown leaps and bounds. They are
So
open
there's a
about it.
change.
There is a
Yeah, there's a
big
change in
change.
trends.
And as I said earlier, I think COVID, I can't call it a blessing at all, but it has changed the mindset of people on marketing for
Hmm.
consultancy firms. Like a B2B servicing industry's changed. It's really, really changed. Like people are really taking things into their own control on how they really want to understand. And the lawyers are taking out time to understand how marketing works. There is
Thank you.
a big change.
Yes. Um, okay, so moving the focus a little on you, if you were to meet your younger self, like the 18-year-old Jaya, 17, 18-year-old Jaya who came to Bombay for the first time, what would you say to your younger self?
Oh, I would say have as much fun as you can. This time will never come back. You will get a good career if you work hard and if you're honest in your life, but just be happy, have fun, don't stress, and just chill, yeah. And if you go still in you're in Bombay, it's a blessing. Enjoy the city, enjoy the sea, enjoy your marine drive, enjoy as much as you can. But I think at that young age, you are so determined and you're so ambitious that you want, I want to do this also, I want to do that also, and I want to earn money also, but I want to see what has come in the market also, I want to buy also, but chill, thoda chill karo. I would say that to, I'll say that to myself for sure. Calm down. It's okay. Everything falls into place, and everything is. If you're positive and the universe is listening to you, everything will be fine. That definitely. And but I will again and again advise my 18-year-old to come to Bombay. Um, in as many lifetimes. I'll tell them to come to Bombay, at least in India. I've had a very good stint in Bombay, and I love the city.
So good to hear that. So good to know you had a great time, and so good to
Yeah,
know that Bombay has been so welcoming to you in so many ways. I think that's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. And Shreya, as I told you that thankfully I realize it now that I did not plan so much, but I used to stress. I mean, what will happen? I mean, I was not planning, but I was stressing. So that was
Mm.
not a good option. But still, things work for me because I was like, it's okay. I've stressed today. Tomorrow it will be fine. Something good will work out. So I think you should also. I'll also tell my 18-year-old that let go. It's okay. You don't have to only stress and then next day you have to like, why am I stressing? Just the first step of not stressing should be your first step. So yeah, that is there, and yeah, Bombay is fantastic.
Very well. So besides being passionate about branding and business development, what else interests you?
Traveling, I think it does. Reading also does. There's little bit of painting, which I'm
Oh, wow.
interested in. I do little bit of painting here and there, and I can't cook to save my life. But this pandemic has changed my mindset towards it. So I've learned cooking. So I won't say it interests me, but I just felt if I learned it at a younger age, it would have been better. And you only don't have to eat outside food. That is another advice I want to give my 18-year-old. Stop eating junk. Eat your salad and have water.
Very
And one thing I wanted to add, I think I missed adding that for business development. I think when I was talking about Rainmaker being a happy place, JSA is a replica of it. JSA University is a fantastic place to be. I mean, they are happy lawyers. They are still very hardworking lawyers and they're stress-free lawyers. So that environment really helps you to be loyal to the company. So loyalty is another thing that I advise to the generation for today. I mean, they have their own journey. They may not like a lot of things and keep moving on from one job to another, but loyalty is something that I have learned over a period of time, and that is from JSS. I will be really grateful.
Yeah, and there has been enough and more talk also about how nurturing the culture is in the firm, because ultimately
Absolutely.
retention is directly proportional to, nurturing and
Yeah,
how happy are you
of
keeping the
course.
place.
Of course, yeah, yeah, and they are very diverse. They are a diverse firm. That really counts. Because
Hmm.
we all women want to do something in our life, but we also want support, and they understand that, and they don't shy away from being a diverse firm. So that's a very good quality, and every firm and everybody should do that for women. It's important.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. My last question to you is, do you have any advice for lawyers or law students who may be looking for a career change?
So, are you talking about career change from law firm to
Law.
BD to business
No,
development?
lot from actually we can cover both. In the BD space, you can talk about what are the scopes and opportunities like, and also if somebody who just doesn't want to do law and doesn't know what to do next, so we can take both verticals.
See, my first advice would be if you want to do law, please be clear. It's not easy to study that those thick books and then get marks and then because you have to be clear. And also sometimes what happens is young people are not clear. I mean what they want to do and law is like okay it's lucrative. So don't think like that. You should not think like that. You want to do a career change. You please take that call little early in life because after some it's never too late. I have that belief in life, but sometimes it doesn't work. So it's always good to have clarity. It's always really good to have clarity. Do a lot of meditation, I would say, to have clarity. So I was joking. That's not something that you have to do for a career change, but clarity is important. And if you're already doing your law and do as many internships. If you want to do business development, then please apply to law firms and do an internship under a BD team and see if you like doing this for your life because marketing has a lot of data
Hmm.
collating, data filtering, everything, and you have to like it. You have to be good at it, and you can't make mistakes in data collation and then filtering and other things because a lot depends on that. So do your internships if you love reading like 5 page of one matter and another 5 page of same matter for the next 5 years. If you like it, then go for it. If you don't like it, don't do that to yourself. Please
Yeah.
do your internship. This is a good time to, and there are lots of law firms, as you said, smaller law firms. Work in a small law firm also. Try to get an internship with a big law firm or work and do your research. We live in the world of YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. I mean, you open YouTube and ask for career advice, there will be some thousand people. Do your filter well. I mean, that much brain you have to use. Do your filter well. Look at it, do your research, understand, listen to Grey Matter and their live sessions with Sarah and understand what all you can do for career change and career growth. And if you are already in like your fifth year of PQE, post qualification experience, and then you want to change, it's okay, go for it. change, understand how BD works. Because now every law firm has business development and marketing, so you know what the BD person is doing.
Hmm.
Speak to them, and I think all of us are quite open about helping people. Speak to them on how it works, and see if you are passionate about branding. Not easy to do branding for B2B. B2C is still, easier. Like tomorrow, if my law firm, I would say, why are you, if I go and tell one of the managing partners of a firm that why are you not on Instagram, he will be like, I don't want to be. I mean, I'm very happy with my book and my glasses and doing the Supreme Court matters or doing an M&A deal or doing a real estate matter or, anything else.
Hmm.
But our generation is lucky that we have this support of internet and everything else to support on what we want to do. And I think Shreya, speaking, lawyers love to speak. Okay, it's like you give them one thing and they'll keep talking. As much as I have spoken today on this chat show, they love to talk. Ask them questions. They will answer with passion. They will want you to learn at that moment only. So lawyers are quite open about giving gyan. So listen to it, and it's good gyan.
Make
It's
the
very
most of
good
it.
gyan. Make the most of it.
That's very
Uh,
encouraging, actually.
yeah. I'm telling you. I mean, with my 13, 14 years of experience, all the lawyers I have met, I just have come to one conclusion that love to talk, and they have good topics to talk on. So listen to them, speak to them, understand what is it. And a lot of partners now know the importance of business development. So if a person is in a partner's team and he doesn't want to go to a peer firm or competition firm, but he wants to do a business development or knowledge management, speak to your partner on what exactly happens. He will not have time to tell you, but he will direct you to the BD person or he'll direct you to HR. Every law firm has talent management and HR now. And there are so many agencies you can call and ask. I mean, and there is
So there are
so
a lot of
much.
avenues, yeah, multiple ways. We just have to be a little more creative and active, proactive, to find
Yeah,
a way
I
through.
think speaking and listening is a good thing to understand if you want to do a career change.
Very well. Well, that was informative, and it's been lovely chatting with you, Jaya. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on Dare Act and spending this lovely Friday evening with us. We wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Shreya. Pleasure was all mine. Thank you for listening to me and my gyan. I hope I was useful to people who are listening to us.
Definitely. Thank you, everyone, for joining us live, and those who will be watching the recording. Have a great weekend.
Bye.